Hi, welcome to week 3 of Theory and Practice. I just want to take a few minutes to go through your assignments for the week, point out some of the different things you'll be doing, their relevance to the rest of the semester, and to try to just highlight some of those things with you so that you can jump right in. So welcome to week 3, and let's get started. From our course home, we're going to go to week 3. You can see your assignment checklist up here. This week is about learning how to read and understand scientific articles and the different types of scientific articles. Chapter 1 that you have previously read goes over some of the different types of scientific writing. And if you go back and look at that, they talk about review papers and research papers and news articles. And those are some of the things that we're going to be focusing on this week. Those types of things will be discussed in chapters 10 and 11. Chapter 10 is going to go through how to read, summarize, and critique a scientific research article. And then chapter 11 is going to go over review articles. Now, it also talks about term papers and some of the differences between term papers and review articles. That's helpful because many of you have done term papers and might think of them as review articles, but they are a little bit different. So it kind of highlights some of those differences. So you need to go through and read those chapters so that you clearly understand the different types of writing and what the purpose of each of those is. We also have a couple of videos here that also go through that, which will help seal that information for you. How to read and comprehend scientific research articles, take notes on them. How do you go through and get the most important parts out of a research article? I know a lot of people kind of sometimes want to blow by some of these videos and like just jump into the actual homework assignment, but I'll tell you, this is going to really help you. You will be reading and digesting and synthesizing information from scientific research articles throughout your entire program. To be able to do it effectively is going to, in the long run, save you a lot of time. Take the few minutes now to go through these tutorials because it really will save you a lot of time in the end. Then we have another tutorial on Introduction to Scientific Journal Literature, again pointing out some of those different types of writing and what their purpose is and how they're done. So your synopsis for this week, you're going to go and read 2 scientific papers. One is a review paper by Speakman. The other is a research paper. So remember, a review paper is going to bring together information from lots of other published papers that were doing actual data collection and synthesize all that information into one paper. So in a review paper, they aren't really presenting new information. They haven't gone out and done an experiment and are presenting that. That's a research paper. We have the review paper by Speakman. So this will give us a sort of an overview of some of the different things that have been done. And you'll see a lot of different references here because they are synthesizing information from lots of different research papers. Then we'll read a research paper by Glazier. These papers are really serving 2 purposes. One, it's going to show you sort of the model of a review paper and a model for a lab report, which is essentially when we talk about lab reports, we're really talking about sort of a mini research paper. You want to follow the same format you would for a research paper. So it'll give you that model. But what it will also do is to give you some conceptual background. The specific articles I've chosen are going to be talking about concepts that we will be writing our report on. So it's not just looking at different types of papers, it's actually also looking at the concepts that are presented. Over the next few weeks, we are going to read these papers about metabolism and some aspects related to metabolism. Then we use a database to extract some data on metabolism in different mammals and birds. Then you'll create graphs, you'll analyze them, you'll write them up into a paper. You'll do a rough draft, and then at the very end of the class, you're going to do a final copy of that. So all of the stuff starting this week and over the next few weeks really builds on one another. So you don't want to get behind. Again, the concepts that you'll see in these 2 papers will be applicable. You will be expected to use some of that information when you write this research paper. So you've got dual purpose there. It's showing you the different types of papers. It's also giving you concepts that you can use in your paper when we eventually write the paper. And perhaps even when you are coming up with your own hypothesis for this paper. So that is your synopsis. In your discussion, I'm asking you to find a news article that's also related to metabolism. Try to get something that's very similar in concept to what we've just read. Because once again, we are going to write a paper, and the more information you have about this topic, the better this paper can be. So if you can find something that goes in and talks about different factors that affect metabolism and metabolic rate, then that might be useful information that you could put in your paper. We're going to share these news articles because it might actually help others as they're writing their paper to look at a news article that you found. And so it's kind of allowing all of us to join together and find different things that we can all use. You're going to find a news article related to metabolism. You're going to post it into the discussion, a link to the article. You're going to summarize the article, kind of talk about the differences between a news article and the different papers that we read. You're going to answer this last question here. What do you think the role is of popular media, like these news science sites that you're going to go to, or Twitter? What role do they play in the dissemination of scientific knowledge, particularly to the general public? And does this expand our scientific literacy, or do you think it makes it more trivial? Now, you can see up here that I've given you a few news sources for this information. Some of the major scientific journals, like the journal Science, Nature, PNAS, AMNAT, they also have Twitter accounts, and they will post things. And so I highly recommend that you find those areas that you're interested in, and you go ahead and sign up for subscriptions to their Twitter feeds, because it's a really good way to keep yourself current. What kinds of things do we see in a news article versus a research paper or a review paper? You will post that, and then you'll also get points for replying to 2 other people. So that is your discussion for the week. And remember, discussions, your initial post will be due on Friday, and then your reply will be due on Sunday. Then you have a reflection. The reflection is on the concept of scientific discovery. And I have a few TED Talks here for you. The first one is by Nathan Wolfe. The next one is with Robert Full. They both talk about this process of scientific discovery. And one of the reasons why I'm having you look at these 2 videos is one of your assignments that's coming up, you're going to be asked to form your own hypothesis. Science is a very creative process. We have to learn how to ask questions. How do I do that? How do I come up with some question that I can then go and do an experiment on or do a literature search on? That's a very, very important part of science. So we want to make sure we have a good way of doing that. So then in your reflection, give me your reaction to these videos, answering the questions that you see here. You'll do this as a Word doc that you will submit to this Dropbox. Enjoy week 3. Please let me know if you have any questions. Once again, come to office hours, email me, whatever you might need. Please let me know if you need any help.